DHCP is the dynamic host configuration protocol, and it has four stages. Why? First stage is DHCP Discovery. The second stage is DHCP Offer. The third stage is DHCP Request, while the last stage is DHCP Acknowledgement. And again, we have DNS. DNS is the domain name server, which instead of entering the IP address, so we use domain name server like for the user friendly domain name, so that you enter this domain name to route the like to visit the website instead of the IP addresses. So I'm going to take you through how to configure this DHCP and DNS. So DHCP is configured on a router, so you're gonna take that out now. Then switch to connect our hosts. Then we pick out the servers that will configure the DHCP and DNS on. So now let's bring out like 5 hosts here. Then our cable to connect the host to the switch. Let's pick this cable. Yeah, after that is then we connect the switch to the router, then the router to the server. Now we want to name this as the DHCP server, and this should be our DNS server. Now we assign the IP address the user route. This is the subnet mask address. Then the same thing here. Then give this back to slash 30. So let's change this one to slash 30 also. Now we configure our DHCP on the router. So now you click on the router, you go to the CLI, the command line interface. Now, would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? No. Enter, enable. Then we go to the config mode. So on getting there, we start our configuration. Let's configure the in this interface first, which is Giga Ethernet 0/0. So that will be interface G0/0. Now we are in this interface. The next thing is we want to configure the IP address here. What is the IP address? 192.168.10.1. The subnet mask now .0, since it is /24. So this IP address here now will be our default gateway. Now here we configure the DHCP IP helper address. So IP helper address forward the DHCP request from the client to the server. So now how do we enter that? IP helper address 192.168. Now I want to do the same thing for all other IP addresses so that they can communicate with each other. This is 10.10.10.2. Then the last one here two. So now we on the interface by doing no shutdown. Then do right to save our work. Now that is that on that interface. Now we want to repeat this same step to all other interface, but before then we have to exit this interface, then enter another interface here. Giga Ethernet 0/1, then the IP address there 10.10.1.255.255. Since this one is /30, so to be .252, why this will be the gateway address. Then you enter, then no shutdown to on the interface, then do right to save. Now we exit this interface to another interface for the same step 0/2. Now this interface here, Giga Ethernet 0/2, then we enter the IP address here 20.20.20.1. The subnet mask here /30, no shutdown to on the interface, no shutdown, then do right to save. So after that, now we want to enter this server now to assign the service we want from it. So DHCP, right? Then we configure the default gateway that will enter here. The default gateway here will be 20.1. Then the DNS server, which is 10.10.2. Then the start IP address is like from which number of IP address do you want this server to be addressing its IP addresses. So now this is .10.3. So anything from 3 downward, it won't assign IP address, but from 3 upward, that is where it starts assigning the IP address. Now the subnet mask for this is .0, since it is /24. So now the maximum number of users do you want? You enter it, say let's say the maximum number of users in that community is 15. Then you on it, then save. So let's configure the IP address 20.20.20.2. Then the subnet mask is 255.255.252/24. Then the default gateway here is 3.20.20.1, while the DNS server is 10.10.2. So that is that about that. So we start testing it one after the other. We click on this now, then the desktop IP configuration, then change it from static to that DHCP. So automatically it's assigned IP address to that. Then another host here, click on that desktop, change it to DHCP, it assigned IP address to that automatically. Then another host here, desktop, DHCP, then that is how DHCP is being configured. Now let's say we add another host here, like two hosts. Let's say we add one here, another one here. Then we connect it to the switch here. The same thing here, the same thing here. Now let's see if IP address should be assigned to this connected host automatically. Now you click on it, then go to desktop, IP configuration, DHCP. So as you can see, it has assigned IP address to that too automatically. Now let's see the last host there, this one, desktop, IP configuration, then we change it to DHCP. As you can see, it has assigned IP address to that too automatically. Now let's ping, let's test if they are communicating. So go ping, enter the IP address 192.168. So definitely it is pinging, this connecting. But now if you ping any of the names, it won't connect because we have not configured the DNS. Now let's give all these pieces name. Let's say this one is for IT. Yeah. Now this one for admin. This one for sales, and so on like that. Now on the DNS server, that is where we configure all these names. Now you click on the server here. What service do you want it to render? DNS. Now let's put the name here. Let's say this one admin. Then the IP address of the admin that you want it to respond to. So let's check the IP address of the admin here, which is 10.4, right? Now we configure that here, 192.168.10.4. Yeah, we add that, then we enter another name here, which is sales. So let's check the sales IP address, that is .3. So we put that one here, 192.168.10.3. We add that one, so on it, then we configure on that server too the IP address. So as you can see here, the IP address of DNS server is 10.10.10.2. So the subnet mask here is /30, right? .252, while the default gateway will be 10.10.10.1. So if you like, you put this, but if you like, you can leave it blank. .2. So we are done here. So now we can use this PC to ping admin and sales. Let's see if it will respond. So we go to the command prompt here. Then let's ping sales. So as you can see, they are communicating. Now let's ping admin. Let's see if that name also exists. So as you can see, that one too is communicating, is responding. So instead of cramming or knowing the IP addresses of it, you can see we ping the name directly, not IP address. And that doesn't mean if you ping the IP address, it will not respond. You ping the IP address, you ping the name, it will be responding. So that is the essence of configuring it on DNS server. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and comment for more configuration like this. Thank you.